Hello and welcome, everybody. Driver interviews with Bobby Fazio. Today's Tuesday, November 1st, 2022. All right, now I'm back at the office. So I have like 3 or 10 different locations, but I couldn't be in my little studio today because I had to be here working today. Very, very busy day of work. I guess because yesterday was Halloween. And for anybody that doesn't know, I tutor kids in math. And I guess they were more focused with on trick-or-treating yesterday than they were on learning math. So today I have like 100 kids, and I will be sitting in this seat from, I don't know, now until like 8 o'clock tonight. And my brain's going to be fried. So you guys get my brain at peak performance, whereas my high-paying students get it at a low-level performance. So you guys should consider yourselves lucky, all right? Just want to let you know. But thanks for tuning in, everybody. Go to my website, driverinterviews.com. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get yourself a shirt or a sticker. Here's a shirt right here. I will be in Pomona, by the way. Going to Pomona to cover the finals. People have been saying you should go to Vegas this weekend because that's, sports. It's the Lucas Oil Series, and championships can be decided. I would have loved to. However, I can't. Family function this weekend on my wife's side. You don't miss one of those. If you miss a family function on your wife's side, you might as well not come back home. So anyways, if you also want to sponsor or donate, and we have a couple sponsors on board, and I really appreciate them, and we'll be mentioning them in about 30 seconds. Hit me up on Facebook and Instagram at Driver Interviews. Okay, I posted some cool pictures on Instagram that didn't make it to Facebook because I kind of do like a one or the other type of thing. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, if you're not on all 3, you're missing something. So get on all 3 of them. Draginsights.com. Go on there, okay? Look up your stats. Look up your opponent's stats, especially anybody that's racing this weekend in Vegas. You might want to do some research. You saw the close racing we had this past weekend in Vegas for the Nationals. Oh, my goodness, I wish I was there for that event. Draginsights.com. Get yourself a premium membership. I'm working on a little tutorial video, by the way, that shows you how to sign up for contingency, how to look yourself up, how to look up your opponent, okay, how to sort things, and how to get in there and learn something before you go up and race. You got to have a game plan. We also have Rob Youngblood of Advanced Clutches. He's joined the team here. So go to advancedclutches.com. and reach out to Rob. He's got the 8-inch clutch, the 9-inch clutch, the 10-inch clutch. He's got dual disc. He's got a setup for just about every application. So give him a call. Reach out. Nice guy, nice and knowledgeable, willing to help. And of course, we also want to thank Thomas Baker of Metal Solutions of Maryland. He's joined the team, and he's got some suspension pieces coming. So he's machining them. He's like a very, very highly skilled machinist. He does work for, I guess I'll say he does work for the government. That's where we'll leave it. He does work for himself. He builds things on his own race cars. He usually paints his race cars too. So a guy of multiple talents. And Tim Stickles, Gutters by Design. Thank you, Tim. Gutters by Design. He's based up in New England area. Give Tim a call. You need some new gutters. And those cool kinds that keep the leaves from coming in. Reach out to Tim Stickles, Gutters by Design. Find him on Facebook. All right. So, man, where do we start this weekend? It was just, it really makes me sad that I wasn't in Vegas this week. Did you guys catch some of that racing? Woo! Close championship, the showdowns that were there. I mean, Greg Stanfield had to go up against Peter Dagnolo. Jimmy Hidalgo had to go up against Brad Burton in the first round. Stanfield had to go up against Jimmy DeFrank in the first round. It was just crazy. What's up, Tom Gent? How you doing? Dewey Peets, what's up? How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Nick Ryder. How you doing, buddy? James Haddad. I'm still saying Haddad. I hope I'm saying your name right. Let me know if I'm not. And Nick Ryder, he always says he's listening, and I'm glad that he is. So good to see you all. We're missing Walt Walker. He's usually one of the first messages. I'm disappointed in you, Walt. How dare you? All right. I also want to thank some of the donations that came in. Doug Deck, I really appreciate your donation. Very kind of you. Jimmy Carter, loyal listener. Doug Deck, both loyal listeners. Thank you guys very much for your donations, helping me out, helping me get to Pomona. I'm trying to crank out a bunch of interviews at Pomona, so I have enough to get us through this long winter that's coming. Because the season starts out at Gainesville next year, I believe, or Baby Gators or something of the sort, maybe Orlando, I don't know. And I want to, I want to be able to put out an interview every Thursday. Gets us through this the downtime, the lull, if you will. Also, I'll be at PRI in December, so hopefully I see some people at PRI, and we can go live there. We can do whatever we want there. It should be fun. My dad's coming with me to PRI this year, so he's going to have the time of his life. He's never been there before, and I've only been there once. What's up, Dan Wally? Afternoon. Doug Deck, there he is. Hi, Doug. How you doing? Thank you for your donation, Doug. Really appreciate it. And Richard Boyle, Vegas is a must-do for any racing fan at least once. Yes, and I did get out to Vegas for the Nationals earlier this year, so that was another reason why I didn't want to go to the same track twice. I'm trying to, anybody that, throws me a little donation or sponsorship, I'm trying to give them their money's worth, and I try to stretch it as far as I possibly can. I fly on these Spirit and Frontier Airlines, and I stay in these little dumpy Airbnbs because you guys are helping me out. I'm trying to stretch your bucks as far as I can and get as much content as I can. So I really appreciate it. And there's Billy Ryder. How you doing? Thanks for listening. That's the son of Nick Ryder. All right, let's get to it here. First off, at that event, good thing for NHRA right now. Good thing for us all, even though some of the class racers may not realize it. Tony Stewart racing a top alcohol dragster. Okay, coming out of NASCAR, he's like a superstar over in that world. I don't watch that much in NASCAR, so I there's a couple names that I recognize when I hear them. Tony Stewart's obviously one of them, and he teamed up with Rich McPhillips, who, by the way, Rich McPhillips had a shop walking distance from my house in Pennsylvania. He was just a local boy, local guy, father and son team. They raced a top alcohol dragster for many years and quietly did pretty damn well at it for all those years. But now they're sitting on top of the world. They're like crewing for Jasmine Salinas, Troy Coughlin, I think, when he decides to get in a car. They basically, Rich Sr. has hung up the driving reins and is I guess, letting whoever the highest bidder is drive his car, and his car runs really well, and they crew for Jasmine. So they're doing good. I'm really happy for them. For right down the street from us. I didn't know, I was down the street from famous people this whole time. Now I'm happy for them. They sold the shop. It was a gas station. They even knocked it down. It's kind of sad. So I don't know what's going there now, but they don't need it anymore. Clearly, they got something big going on. We will try to have a call-in special guest today. Some of you might already know who it is if you read the description. And he's going to kind of give us a little rundown of Vegas. He was in Vegas this week. And he'll tell us how his points chase is going. Hint, hint. All right. So anyways, Tony Stewart being in NHRA is good for us all. Like I said, it brings more attention our way. Maybe I can get a camera in his face and see how that goes for me. Or it might get me punched in the face. I don't know. But hey, every little bit helps. He made it all the way to the final in his top alcohol dragster debut and lost to Madison Payne by 1/10,000th of a second. I think it was 1 inch was the margin of victory. So that's pretty amazing. So congrats, Madison Payne, on that. Top alcohol dragster going up against Tony Stewart and taking him out. And in our class, well, I should say our classes, because this show is for everybody. But I mean, stock and super stock are the best classes. So. In stock eliminator, Leo Glassbrenner. Man, how about that final round over Steve Wan, right? The Mopar specialist, Steve Wan, in the old school. Plymouth, what do you have, a Savoy or a Fury or something like that? It wasn't that Mr. 413 car. It was a white car. And Leo Glassbrenner, he's got one of them new factory stock C, like Copos. I don't know if Leo still has his old. Didn't he have a Firebird, like an orange Firebird in stock eliminator? Where's that thing? Anyways, how about their final round? Both of them 003 on the tree. Leo's dialed 955, runs a 954.3, breaks out by 7 thou. Steve Wan, AA stock automatic, So I think it's a Fury. Or like a max wedge, high compression max wedge Savoy. Somebody comment on that, by the way. He dials 10-15, runs a 10-13. Steve Wan breaks out by 0.02, 20 thou. And Glassbrenner breaks out by 7 thou. That right there was the margin of victory, 13 thou. Steve Wan took the stripe by 13 thou. And Glassbrenner got the win. Here you go. There's a race where it's nice to be the faster car. Faster car wins the double breakout about 75-80% of the time. Quote me on that and look that up. Who else did we have there? So congratulations, Leo Glassbrenner. Tyler Wlodarczyk. After an unfortunate, I think, transmission issue in St. Louis, dude comes back in his GTM automatic Camaro and takes on Greg Stanfield in the final round. Greg had to get by some stiff competition to get to that final round. I mean, oh, good God. Who did Greg Stanfield take out? Jimmy DeFrank 1 round. I think he took out Pete Diagnolo 1 round. He took out Justin Lamb 1 round. So he didn't take the easy route, and he qualified number 1. I think he was trying to get the easy route. When he qualified number 1, or when he was shooting for it, I think there was an odd number of cars showing up. But when it was all said and done, there was an even number of cars, and he got rewarded with a number 1 or a first round matchup against oh my goodness, Jimmy DeFrank. My brain was letting me down because I saw this comment here. Savoy, thank you, Tom. Savoy is Mr. Mopar there. Steve Wan, that's what he was driving. I think it was a 63 Savoy. Okay. Back on task. I need like 3 computers here because I have to keep switching screens. So in that time that Greg Stanfield took out all those killers, he resumed number 1 in the point standings. So let me just tell you what the points are right now. So Greg Stanfield in Superstock, we'll start with Superstock here. 691 points, retakes the lead. He's got 5 nationals under his belt, which means he's allowed to run 1 more national. He's got 7 divisionals under his belt. He's allowed to run 1 more divisional. And both of those races, if he does better than a prior race, he can add more points. Peter Diagnolo has run 6 nationals. He's nationaled out. He can't run any more national events. And he's behind by 14 points. In second place, behind Greg Stanfield by 14 points. He's run 6 divisionals, so he can run more divisionals, meaning he can run the Las Vegas race this weekend and try and win that thing, and maybe that can give him enough points to cancel something else out. I can't even think of a race where Pete did not do well, so I don't know what it would be canceling out if he wants to retake that lead over Greg Stanfield. And then in Stock Eliminator, the points, Jimmy Hidalgo Jr. has taken the number 1 spot. He's got 5 nationals under his belt, which means he's allowed 1 more national. He's got 7 divisionals under his belt, which means he's allowed 1 more divisional to further his lead over Joe Santangelo, who's in second place. So Jimmy's got 655 points. Joe Santangelo's 644 points. He's got an 11-point lead over Joe. Brad Burton, who Jimmy had to face in the first round, man, I'm telling you, these matchups were killer this weekend. Brad Burton's at 624 in third place. Brad's got 5 nationals and 7 divisionals. So Brad's allowed 1 more national and 1 more divisional. I'm sure Brad and Jimmy are both going to be in Vegas this weekend. And I'm guessing Pomona next week. So it's interesting there. Very interesting. And speaking of Jimmy Hidalgo Jr., Cooter Hidalgo, we got him right here. And we're going to talk to him. So let's bring him in. Let's see if I don't screw this up. All right, did a good job. There we go. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy? Can you hear us and see us?
Good. Yeah, I could hear you.
All right. So, Jimmy, you're back in Louisiana now. You're not in Las Vegas at the Wynn Casino, like playing craps or anything like that?
No, I flew back Sunday night and got back to work for a couple of days, and then we're gonna fly back in to Vegas tomorrow night.
All right. So you and Pop going together?
Yeah. He's gonna.
Is
be
Dad racing also, or was he just helping you?
No, he's gonna race. He didn't come last weekend because we had just been going on the road a lot when we went to St. Louis and all. So he stayed back and got some work done. But he's gonna come this weekend and he's gonna race this weekend.
All right. So he made you come home and do work too. I mean, I thought you were your own boss. You couldn't take off for the week here and just focus on your championship run. No, he made you work, huh?
Unfortunately, it doesn't pay enough to take off too much work. So
when you got to spend, $30K to go out and try and win $10K world championship, I guess the return on investment just isn't there. Better go to work, right?
Yep.
So, Jim, let's talk about you taking over the number one spot. Now, you go through qualifying, and I'm assuming your end goal, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you weren't trying to race Brad Burton in the first round, were you? Like, or was that part of the plan here? What were you thinking when you saw that matchup?
No, I mean, it wasn't part of the plan really, but when I did see it fell on that, it was like, yeah, it's either gonna be good or bad. I'm gonna help myself out or potentially put myself further behind. But it worked out in my favor for now. But Chase still isn't over. We still got work to do. So just got to take it one round at a time.
Walk us through that round. I mean, if I read this correctly, the margin of victory was 0.00000, the finish line margin, the finish line stripe, but it was a double breakout, if I remember correctly.
No, he broke out. I was dead. Managed to put it down.
All right, so you were on the safe side. Okay. Now I know that you
Yep.
had the advantage off the line. What was your game plan going into that round? I mean, did you like you said, it was either going to help a lot or hurt a lot. That puts a little added pressure on the run. Any nerves going into that one?
I mean, a little bit, but I mean, at the end of the day, I'm telling myself, this weekend still wouldn't determine, the total outcome, regardless of what happened with that round. So that did ease the pressure. It wasn't that it wasn't a gotta win round, or you have no chance. So that did help a little. But going into it, I mean, when you're racing somebody, of Brad's caliber, you just got to take what you see on the track. Trust your lane. Trust what you see if you feel like you're good on a tree, whether to take the stripe or not. But obviously, you always got to make it tight because, when you're talking about thousands going one way or the other, you got to try to make it tight as possible.
Absolutely. And your lights, I mean, for the most part, even in drag insights, I mean, I can look up your average reaction time there and say e-stock automatic is like an 022. I mean, you're deadly on the tree and you are pretty deadly at the finish line too. I mean, you got any tips for us? What you got a practice strategy I can take and run with here or what?
I mean, a lot of it is just repetition, and I mean, you got to be focused on the ball. That's a good starting point on the tree. But I mean, I don't block anything like a lot of people do, and I don't use two step. But I mean, obviously, your call needs to be where you can be comfortable foot braking it. Um, I mean, as far as the finish line, it's just you're always trying to make it tight. Like I said, I mean, everybody's everybody's good, So I mean, anybody could put up a good run, so you can't take anybody lightly. And it's really a lot just knowing your car, seeing what you see on the track. Do I have enough room? Do I not have enough room? Was I good on the tree? Do I think I'm better on the tree, or do I think he's better on the tree? And what do I have out there for room? So it's a lot of little things, and knowing situations, knowing what to expect. And some people, you don't know what to expect, but you just got to figure it out as you're going down the track. You By eighth mile, hopefully you have an idea of what everything looks like.
Right. Now, Jimmy, last week and the week before, it was two episodes. One was a tech episode based on fuel injection with Robin Lawrence of Holly, and how I was going to go through switching my fuel injection from speed density over to Alpha N because I want to see. I have a belief that Alpha N could be better for the bracket racing aspect of stock eliminator. Can you speak to that at all? What kind of fuel injection are you running right now?
I run Alpha N. I mean, I've used speed density. I've worked on other people's cars that have speed density, and I just prefer Alpha N. That's what I prefer. Um, Performance wise, I don't think one's better than the other. Once the tune's configured properly, either one will be just as fast. For somebody that doesn't like to tune on their car, or doesn't have the knowledge to, speed density is probably better because you can go, if it's set up properly, you could go anywhere. You could go to altitude track, you can go to Denver, and it would theoretically, if it's tuned properly for Denver, on the line it would be on, you would be tuned properly when you get there. Also, it's making adjustments on the fly as it's taken into consideration barometric pressure, air temperature, coolant temperature. Whereas Alpha N is not doing that, but you can. I mean, there's unlimited configurations you can do. So you can set up tables if you want to. If I want to set up a barometric pressure table where if it's gonna take this amount of fuel, if the barometric pressure is here, so you can do that. So you can have some self adjustment there with Alpha N if you want to take the time to do all that.
Yeah, now I zeroed all those tables out. I kind of just wanted it to act like a carburetor. Is that something you're willing to share with us? Do you kind of zero out those corrections and just kind of try to put your table in the perfect spot?
Yeah, I mean all of mine zeroed out. Coolant temperature, I'll add a little bit of fuel. That way, if you chill the engine, it'll add a little bit of fuel when the coolant temperature is that low. But other than that, no, I really don't.
All right, and then closed loop and open loop, if you're willing to share.
Once again on that, I've tried both. I mean, I don't really see any advantage or disadvantage. The biggest thing is you want to minimize the correction limits because I mean, obviously, you want to be tuned well. You don't want it 20% adding 20% fuel or taking away 20%. So if you got that tuned well, you shouldn't be moving but more than a couple percent one way or the other. And it's nice, like if you go to a track where it's altitude and you're going to need to make an adjustment in Alpha N. If you are in closed loop, at least your first run's not going to be, I wouldn't call it a wasted run, but it'll still probably run just as good as it would if it was tuned properly. And then you can go back and adjust from there to get the tune up closer.
Yeah, Jim, have you gone to a track and kind of just said, all right, the weather's so different, the altitude's so different than what I'm used to. Put it in closed loop for the first run, and it's really just going to be somewhat of a throwaway, like based on what that correction is, then go in and change the fuel table and then put it in open loop. Like, is that something that you've ever done?
No, I mean, I've never been to Denver. I mean, that would be one of the few places that would be a huge difference. I mean, I've been to Vegas, Bristol, and they're fairly altitude, but it's not a huge adjustment at either one of those. So no, I really haven't done that, but I mean, it would be a good thing to do. And like I said, if you're in closed loop, it really would be a complete throwaway run. I mean, if it's a little bit off, you might have a little ET there, but you would be better off than being in open loop and being, say you have fuel ratios a whole point off. Then that would be a throwaway run, I would call it.
Right. Okay. And then one last question on this, Jim, and then we'll move on. Is, let's say you're at a national, you qualify on Thursday, your ratios are pretty good. It's like 80 degrees all day, and then you have first round Friday morning, and now it's all of a sudden it's 52 degrees out. It's just a different atmosphere altogether. Do you approach that, like, do you start messing with the table, or do you just kind of let it ride?
No, I mean, if I look at it in time trials, if I do make any adjustments, that's where it's going to stay. I don't mess with it once eliminations start.
And you
Which
would leave it in closed loop for that elimination round, or are you open loop during eliminations?
I've been running closed loop, but like I said, I've run both ways. I don't really see a whole lot of advantage. But I mean, my tune-ups, I always make sure the tune-ups fine tuned. So generally, I mean, most runs it's not even correcting 1%. So that's
Okay.
not enough to make a difference.
And then even in correction, is the car following your weather station pretty well? I'm assuming you use a weather station like everybody else.
Yeah, it does. And like I said, because the tune-up so close, and I make sure it always is that even though it is in closed loop, it's not really doing much. So when you talk about 1 or 2%, if you would have it in closed loop adjusting 2% and you take it out without the 2%, then it wouldn't make a difference. It's
Right.
not a
It's
difference.
minimal. Okay. All right, Jim. Thanks for educating me. I appreciate it. I try to learn everything I can on fuel injection. So what's this weekend here now? Looking at these points, it's. I mean, you're up by 11 over Santangelo. I'm not sure if Santangelo is going out there. I don't think he is. I don't know for sure though. He could be borrowing a ride. He's a good driver. But Brad, you got 31-point lead over Brad, and you both hit 5 nationals and 7 divisionals. What can you cancel out at this point?
I think it's a second rounder for divisionals.
A second round from a divisional. How
Yeah.
have how many nationals have you run here? Looks like
Uh,
5. Your best 3 nationals right now, what are they?
a win. I think a win, a semi, and a quarterfinal.
All right. So are you going to run Pomona also?
Yeah, more than likely.
Okay. So we got a divisional this weekend that you would have to do really well to improve on, right? Or no, you just said you do have one race that is a somewhat easier improvement.
Yeah, division race. I'm on a second round or so.
Second round. Okay. And then as far as the national, you would have to go to Pomona and runner up, it sounds like, or
Yeah.
semifinal.
Yep.
All right, that makes it interesting. Where are you going to leave all your stuff?
Everything's gonna stay in Vegas, and then we'll just go to Pomona from there if we go.
All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you out there. And anybody has, Jimmy, if you got extra parking passes and or crew passes, let me know.
Okay.
If you guys are running 2 cars and you only have like 1 passenger vehicle, I'll take your other parking pass if you don't need it.
Okay.
Just putting it out there.
Yeah.
And then as far as heads up runs this weekend, Jim, did you catch any of those in stock and super stock? They were pretty interesting, weren't they?
Yeah. I watched. I think I watched most of them. Joe Sorensen and Jeff Jerome, and actually I was in the water box for my third round bye. Jerry Emmons and Connor Stadler were in front of me. And what other one did they have? They had another one I thought was
It was
pretty
a
good.
Kyle Rizzoli and a Steve
Yeah.
Wan.
Yep.
Steve Wan also took the hard route, and then you had Steve Wan in the 5th round, right?
Yep.
And I mean, you had an 035 light, which some people take pride in 035 lights, but for Jimmy Hidalgo Jr., an 035 light is like that's one of your bad ones,
Yeah. I
And
wasn't too pleased with that. At the end of
Steve
the
Wan was like he was taking no prisoners that round. He was ready. He was ready for you. It looks like he was. Geez, 001 and dead on with an 8. He threw up a 9-pack. That's a tough one, huh?
yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's not usually the loss that I'm set up with. It's what I did in my lane. Did I do the best that I could do? And when I'm 35, I'm not the best I can do. So if right there, if I'm 10 or 20, and he's 00 and dead on, and I lose, I don't feel like I did a bad job. I just
Right.
didn't put up a good enough run. But obviously, you look at those situations and try to figure out why was I that late on the tree. Sometimes is it just a focus thing? Did I just not, did you wake up that day? And that's what makes national events so tough. You might wake up one day and just not feel as sharp as the other day. So it makes it tough day in and day out having to get up, and that was the first run. Yeah, that was the first run of the day too. So
Right. It was Sunday, quarterfinals. So probably about 12 noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And
no,
it's just like
it was
you got to be there. You got to perform every day. It's the great challenge of a national event, like you said.
yeah, and it was early. We had a 9 a.m. start because they wanted to get down to semis. So it was 9 a.m. on Sunday.
Oh, so that's different than the normal. Usually they're already at the semis for uh,
Right.
Sunday, and they weren't. Okay, that's interesting. So maybe you had a bad apple in the morning or something. Whatever you ate, just don't eat it again.
Yeah. Yep.
I've done that. I've said, "Oh, I lost in the morning. I ate, piece of French toast. That's it. No more French toast for me on race day. I'm done with that." So, all right, Jim. Well, thanks for spending some time with us. We don't want you to get in trouble at work, and we wish you luck this weekend in Vegas. Have a safe flight out there, and see what you can do. Good luck. This would be your first world championship if you were to do it, right? You don't have one prior.
I have 2 IHRA Super Stock World Championships. So yeah, this would be the first stock NHRA.
All right. Well, we wish you luck and be safe. Have fun. Thanks for joining us, pal. Take it easy.
See you.
All right, Jimmy Hidalgo. Thanks for joining us. Man, pretty interesting. It's a shame about that 9-pack, but Steve Wan, he was really, man, he was driving. He had to get through a heads up over Kyle Rizzoli. That was a hell of a race too. Anybody that saw that one, AA stock automatic. Rizzoli's got the '69 Camaro. Steve Wan's got the Savoy. And Rizzoli's 005 on the tree runs a 988 at 133. Rizzoli. I mean, he's killer Kyle Rizzoli. I mean, what are you going to do? Guy throws up a 005 when he needs one. Steve Wan's 025. No slouch at all. And runs a 984 too. Margin of victory was 22 thousandths at the stripe, 4 feet. Steve Wan went 132 miles an hour. I don't know if he was like just tapping the brakes down there because Rizzoli went 133. Outran him in that department. So either Steve Wan was like on the brakes slightly or just doesn't run as much mile per hour as Rizzoli. But great race. 3 heads ups in stock. The other 2 were Justin Jerome, Joe Sorensen, and then Connor Statler, Jerry Emmons. The Justin Jerome, Joe Sorensen one was pretty interesting. If you were watching the increments, I was watching the increments on NHRA TV. Jerome was 032 on the tree. This was an F-stock automatic showdown. Jerome's got a Duster. I think it's a 73 Duster. Sorensen's got the 69 Camaro. I think it's the 350, 255. He kind of switches back and forth between the 255 combo and the 2-barrel 250 combo. But Sorensen's fast. He was 036 on the tree. Jerome's 032. Jerome runs 1114 at 91 miles an hour, and Sorensen runs 1088 at 99 miles an hour. So way under. I think Sorensen's going to trigger a review because I don't think that was a mine shaft qualified field. I should know that, before I go live. But as far as I know, it wasn't. Cooter fast, but he's not Jim Marshall fast. Very few people are Jim Marshall fast, by the way. Paul, what's up, buddy? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good to see you. Connor Statler versus Jerry Emmons. This was an A-stock automatic heads up. This was 3rd round. So the Justin Jerome, Joe Sorensen heads up was 2nd round. 3rd round, you got the Connor Statler, Jerry Emmons. A-stock automatic. I think they're both 69 Camaros. Statler is 059 on the tree. That's actually pretty bad for him. And Jerry was 034 on the tree. I think this might have been a nighttime race also. Statler, 1018 at 116 miles an hour. And Jerry Emmons is 1010 at 126. So Statler got out of it. So where the Justin Jerome, Joe Sorensen race might have been one of them 1,000-foot deals, this Connor Statler, Jerry Emmons race was a quarter-mile deal, but I think Statler, when he realized I can't get there, I might as well stab the brake pedal and try not to go a second under. Well, he did go a second under. He went 1.002, so by 0.002 of a second, he was a second under. And second under runs, when you do 2 of them, trigger a year-end horsepower review. Jerry Emmons was 1.09 under. So if they're running the same combo, there's 2 1-second under runs right there. That's going to trigger a review. There's so many of them 69 Camaros, though, that there could be a lot of them that maybe bring the average back down. How about this Superstock heads up run? Factory Superstock B. Terry Elias and Gary Coe. All right. So Factory Superstock B, their index was 935 at this race. Terry Elias, 018 on the tree, runs an 841 with a 1. Gary Coe is 47 on the tree, runs an 838 with a 5. So 18 on the tree to a 47 on the tree by a whole shot. Terry Elias gets a 0.003 margin of victory, which, according to Drag Race Central and according to my math, is approximately 9 inches. So what a race that was. Terry Elias, I didn't get to see that one live, but man, that would have been a great one to catch. What else do we got? Oh yeah. So I don't know if I told you the numbers on the Superstock final, but it was Tyler Wlodarczyk over Greg Stanfield. Greg Stanfield, who took out Pete Diagnolo and a couple other killers. Tyler Wlodarczyk, GTM automatic Camaro, 87 Camaro, I'm assuming. 011 on the tree, runs 1068.8 on a 1069 dial, breaks out by 2 thou, going 113 miles an hour. Stanfield has one of his worst lights of the weekend. Stanfield was killing it to take out, the terrors that he had on the way to the final. But in the final, in his GTJ automatic Camaro, he was 044, which is very un-Stanfield-like. And he went a 10.053 on a 10.06 dial, breaking out by 7 thou. So Greg could have furthered his points lead a little bit there by taking that final. He still is in the lead, and I'm assuming he will be at the race this weekend running Superstock at the Lucas Oil Divisional Series in Las Vegas. And then I guess he might go out to Pomona. It'd be interesting to see him out there. Did anybody see some of these crazy, like, these runs? And I think it was like first round of stock eliminator. I was watching that on the TV, and it's like, man, some of these runs with these breakouts, like, was it a windy round? I would love to know, but some people were losing with clear starting line advantages. Let me rattle off a couple to you because I was like dumbfounded. Some no shows. Okay, Pete Lancier's nice 011 light right there against in your buy run against Errol Farmer. He didn't show, which I'm mad. I hope Errol Farmer's at Pomona. I want to try and get an interview with him. Where was I saw a couple big ones. Mitch Kite had a 374 light first round, but Mark Kirby left before the third amber, so that might have messed him up. Chris Ashley and Jared Grenier. Jared was 094 on the tree. Chris Ashley 010 on the tree, and breaks out by 7. So that was a big stripe margin down at the finish line. Jeff Lane was 044 against John Irving's 005. It was some big disadvantages at the starting line, overcoming at the finish line. So it was just interesting to see. Vegas has some circling wins. It can be so hard to dial at that place. I'm not sure that I could, like, I don't think I would go to that place without something nice, fast, and aerodynamic. It's just a tough place to race. I was there this spring, and man, the winds would like blow your hat off your head. You're trying to get video. It's just tough. But I thought it was interesting to see. Anyways, I can't go to Las Vegas this weekend. I will be in Pomona in, I would say 2 weeks, but I think it's less than that. 9 days. 9 days Pomona race starts. So if anybody has a restricted area pass they can help me out with, or a parking pass, please let me know. I'll try and make it up to you. I can check your tires. I can help you dial your car, help you play the ladder, or do a driver interview if you want. Let me know, because I know restricted area passes are like $95 at this point, and the parking pass is just a lifesaver. And I need somewhere to post up, charge my laptop, cut the videos, and try and post them up to YouTube. I'd appreciate that. Also, I've been wanting to know about, has anybody, I know Justin Hutto was working on this for a little bit, renting race cars, okay? He was putting together, a plan for you to lease your class car. And I'm interested in that because I feel like I have a great car to do it with. I got a stock eliminator Mustang 5.0 that runs 1 second under the index. It's pretty maintenance free. You'd have to do something really stupid to break it. But that has to be a clause. I mean, that's got to be in there because people do stupid things sometimes. How dare you, Kirk? How dare you? Where was I? That just threw me off. No Norristown. I'm a Jersey person now. I'm ashamed to admit. No, but I can find his all-out runs on Drag Insights, James. So sign up for Drag Insights. And you can look. You'll see it in the tutorial how you find out what they're capable of running. Great perk to Drag Insights, by the way. But yeah, leasing race cars. How much you could charge? Do you charge per race? Do you charge per month? Do you give them an allotment? Who's responsible when something goes wrong? Is there a mandatory insurance that must be covered? Let's think about that. Comment. What do you guys think about that? Right? I'm interested. Got some more videos in the pipeline. I hope you checked out my Lupe Tortilla trilogy. Jared Grenier was last Thursday. This Thursday, I'm trying to get Paul Wong up. Next Thursday, I'm trying to get Brett Sarball. I got Paul Sutherland. I got Travis Hess. I got 4 videos in the pipeline. I'm trying to get at least 10 more in Pomona. I don't know if that's possible because it's really hard to do. So if anybody has a bicycle they can let me borrow or a golf cart, let me know there also. I want to carry us through the winter, right? I want to have interviews every Thursday, Tuesday, tell-alls every Tuesday, text segments every third Tuesday of the month is what I'm shooting for. So, I got a lot of plans this off season, so I'm gonna need to do a lot in Pomona. Hope to see you all there. And that's it. I think that's all I have for you today. Let me look at my notes real quick. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. I think I got everything. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in Pomona next week. If you're there, make sure you say hi. If you want a shirt, let me know. I ordered some shirts. I was going to ship them to Pomona, but California is such a screwed up state that it was going to add so much more money to the shirt order because it's 10.25% sales tax in California, even on clothes. We don't have that here even in the screwed up state of New Jersey or in Pennsylvania. So I just couldn't do it. So I can't ship the shirts out to California. Hopefully they get to me in time here, and then I can throw them all in my luggage and get out there. 10.25% sales tax. Are you kidding me? Who would live in that state? I would if I could afford it. But all right, guys, thanks for joining me. Take care. Have a nice Tuesday. Bobby Fazio signing out.